Texas Attorney General declares Austin School Pride Week celebration breaks state law. This week, according to Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, an annual Pride Week celebration in Austin schools is breaking state law. This is new territory, marking the state's latest move to confront LGBTQ+ rights. Austin School District said the event will nevertheless continue. Every year, the Austin Independent School District plans a series of events to celebrate LGBTQIA+ students, highlighting, quote, the district's commitment to creating a safe, supportive, and inclusive environment, end quote. Tuesday, Paxton sent a letter to Stephanie Elizalde, the superintendent of the Austin Independent School District, saying, quote, the Texas Legislature has made it clear that when it comes to sex education, parents, not school districts, are in charge, end quote. Paxton said the school district must obtain parental permission before any student is subject to instruction regarding human sexuality. Paxton added, quote, by hosting Pride Week, your district has at best undertaken a week-long instructional effort in human sexuality without parental consent. Or worse, your district is cynically pushing a week-long indoctrination of your students that not only fails to obtain parental consent, but subtly cuts parents out of the loop. Either way, you are breaking state law, end quote. The school district replied that, quote, we are all Austin ISD. We embrace diversity, end quote. The school district said there were no changes to the schedule.
Good for them. I mean, the superintendent will probably be gone at the start of the next school year, but I'm glad that she's standing up for the marginalized students, the institutionally marginalized students in her district.
Yeah. Viva Austin. Mm-hmm. Austin just keeps like plugging away at it.
And you know, if parents want to not have their children indoctrinated or whatever that means, go to private school.
Yeah.
There are tons of private schools.
Exactly.
Catholic schools, Baptist schools, non-denominational schools. There's tons of them. Charter schools. Go to one of those.
The kind of clumsy way in which talking about one's identity, one's life, one's lived experience suddenly becomes indoctrination. This is the kind of slippery slope that the GOP has become very good at kind of maneuvering and kind of creating euphemisms for, as we see with the Don't Say Gay bill, for example. I mean, this is just a kind of restructuring of what it means to be out and proud. And like, is every day is Straight Pride Day, right? I mean, that is, imagine like when we see constant expressions of people living their straight lives, is that sexuality in our faces?
There is the bullseye, in my opinion, because the Austin Independent School District blows a dog whistle for America to listen to, which is we embrace diversity. They're not talking about the diversity of the embracement of promoting, like we would in our community, diversity, lesbians, transgender, bisexual diversity. They're talking about we embrace the representation of diversity culturally. And it's a dog whistle that they likely are going to win. And the reason is because in the long run, these kind of laws, what Paxton is doing, can't survive. It can't survive the legal challenge. Right. Because at the end of the day, are you going to pretend people don't have sex? Because if you don't pretend that sex doesn't exist, heterosexuality exists, which means you can't show pictures of my wife or my husband because it implies we have a sexual relationship. And Austin's already blowing the whistle to say, wait, if we can't talk about the sexuality of the LGBTQ community, we can't talk about sexuality at all. That is impossible. And the Republicans will not be able to defend that and will ultimately lose in court because the lawsuit that is coming is about exactly what you just said, the celebration of straight pride every single day.
Yeah.
And
now, the one negative to this is they don't care about this. They only care about this November election, and the process of the timeline of the enforcement of this is too quick for us to do anything about it.
Yeah.
They're very smart in how they're dividing and conquering.
That's 100% right, and I mean, it's just not about sexuality, right, or strictly just about sexuality. It's about families. It's about children. It's about identities. Like
I have two mommies.
Well, no,
you
and
can't
that
talk
was what Pride Week in Austin was going to be about. It was going to be how to be an ally, anti-bullying, mental health, all these important things that LGBTQ+ youth and their allies need to be a part of.
Yeah.
But the modern Republican Party is built on bullying. So they're not going to have any part of an anti-bullying.
Yeah.
That sounds funny to say.
No,
but
it's the
absolute
Trump base, totally.
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ